out there? Good, great, Yan. Hey, Yan. Wonderful. As you see on your screen, your dial, why are you joining me today? Why? This is unfortunate. There's so much better shit that you could be listening to. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've had a goddamn rough week, and I don't know that this podcast is going to be any good. And I don't frankly care. It was an impromptu one, and the only reason I'm sitting down right now is because it was getting so quiet that I had to, if nothing else, hear myself speak. Because I just, dude, you watch as many movies as I... Believe it or not, ladies, gentlemen, however you identify, I don't always like watching movies. I don't always like this, like, that's not... Yes, I love movies, but, like, I don't like work movie, like... Especially when now the two's fucking synonymous. Like, now I only watch shit that I have to fucking work for, that I'm obligated, which I guess on some degree is cool, but, like, I don't know. When there's only so much time in a day, nobody gives a fuck, dude. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm just saying, join something. There's better podcasts out there that you can fucking listen to. And Sean's upset. Ah, fuck. Sometimes and the podcast is poorly ran, poorly executed, poor quality. It's not even good quality. I think you only hear me coming out of one goddamn speaker. Shit, you got to turn your fucking car volume all the way up to hear my stupid ass. All right, enough. I mean, because I know that there's going to be some people out there that are going to be negative about this. Let's talk about it. So, what you see? What do you see? What do you see? Ghosts of Mars. John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars. Funny story. Big John Carpenter fan here. This is the first John Carpenter movie I've done on my show. Ghosts of Mars. That's you want to know something, gang? That's very Ellis Cinema. That's very Ellis Cinema to be a big horror fan. Well, I'm just a big movie fan. I don't even give a fuck about genre anymore. I'll watch what is it good? I'll fucking watch it. Musical, horror, the drama. Fuck, I'll watch it. Dry, wet. You know, a lot of people said Minari was pretty dry. I didn't mind it. Nobody cares. But the fact that I'm doing Ghosts of Mars. And I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, and I've never done a John Carpenter film on my show. I mean, I'm not going to do one for Halloween, gang. I'm not going to do it. There's enough podcasts out there talking about every single Halloween. You don't need my 2 cents, and unless you want it. If I get what's reasonable, if I get 300 people to DM me that they want me to talk about John Carpenter's Halloween or The Thing, I may do The Fog just because, let's ruffle some feathers. But yeah, it's got to be at least 300 fucking DMs or fucking communications before I'll do Halloween. That's reasonable, gang. 300 is reasonable. But no, I'm not going to do it. I just think it's so fucking funny that I'm doing Ghosts of Mars. But The Fog is probably my favorite John Carpenter film, so let's ruffle some horror fans' feathers. Look, we all likes what we likes. I know that that's sacrilege amongst a lot of you. In fact, maybe my favorite... I don't know, it's a toss-up. Like, if we're talking horror films, The Fog's definitely it. If we're talking John Carpenter's catalog as a whole, it may be Escape from New York. I don't know. I love Escape from New York. It is one of my favorite films of all the times. I love the premise. I just love the whole idea of it. I love it. I love it. I don't even think Halloween would crack my 3. Oh, horror fans are getting upset. But yeah, so look, we all like what we like, right? I'm getting kind of tired of this whole thing of, like, if I don't watch something that you recommend, then that means I don't like it. No, gang. If it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, yes, maybe take some offense to it because there was, like, 6 shows, right? Now, there's 6,000 shows, and I'm probably lowballing it. In fact, I'm most certainly am. As far as TV shows, I don't know. The person that I was talking to, I could tell that they were just kind of like, well, I don't know why you don't watch ... I'm not going to bring it up because then they're going to know who I'm talking to, and we just don't do that. And I was just like, no, I got this, that, and the other thing. Well, and quite frankly, I haven't been able to watch anything that I want to watch. I've just been doing work. Still got a whole bit to go. But just don't get mad because it's not 30 years ago. You know, like there's so many things that you can watch that are in your wheelhouse. And when you're someone like me that'll watch basically anything, anytime, anywhere, well, the stuff that I want to watch starts to add up. Shit, I haven't even watched the new Letterkenny yet. Shame on me. The new Narcos yet. Shame on me. Got a lot of work to do, gang. So, John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars. Oh yes, I definitely wanted to mention the back of this Blu-ray because especially there's a couple of you out there that are horror fans that'll think this is hilarious. This is how they chose to sell Ghosts of Mars. From John Carpenter, the master of horror behind the 1998 hit John Carpenter's Vampires. So first the first one we mentioned is John Carpenter's Vampires. But what we say, we say from John Carpenter, the master of horror, John Carpenter's Vampires. I don't know why that annoys me. But they say John Carpenter's Vampires and classics like The Thing and Halloween. Halloween comes last. Halloween comes last in selling this Blu-ray by John Carpenter. Ghosts of Mars, a movie that most people have never heard of, and a movie that even John Carpenter fans despise. And I'm here to tell you, I think you're a fool. I think that this is a great B sci-fi horror film, and we'll talk a little bit about it. I'm only here to promote, baby. I'm only here to tap dance this is for no one. This was for mental health reasons for me to get on the mic right now. It's the only fucking no. I mean, I did start giggling to my, you know what? It was for selfish reasons, all for selfish reasons, because when I started my buddy came down last night to hang out with me, and he's a huge horror fan, and he had never seen this before, and I was just like, what? Like, especially you, like, Halloween's one of his favorite movies of all time. He's got a picture with John Carpenter, so on and so forth. And I'm like, what do you mean you haven't seen this? So anyway, we sit down and watch it. And today I was just like looking at the case, looking back up at the ceiling, crying, back at the case, back at the ceiling, crying, back at the case, crying. And I was like, you know what? It would be fitting for your show if the first John Carpenter film you did was Ghosts of Mars. So, Natasha Henstridge. Yeah, we haven't even talked about who's in this yet. This is hilarious. Anyway, Natasha Henstridge plays Melanie, a headstrong police lieutenant on Mars in the year 2025. Humans have been colonizing and mining on the Red Planet for some time, but when Ballard and her squad are sent to a remote region to apprehend the dangerous criminal, James Desolation Williams. I don't even think they say James. I think they just say Desolation Williams, which is hilarious. Played by, wait for it, a Mr. Ice Cube. Now, funny story. Now, I'm a big rap fan, so Ice Cube was huge to me when he was in NWA. So you're talking late 80s, early 90s, right? I'm not sure when this film came out. Maybe 2001, thereabouts. He wasn't the family-friendly Ice Cube yet. Like, he wasn't the Are We There Yet? Was that him? Or fucking School Fight or Fist Fight or whatever he did with Charlie Day. Anyway, he wasn't that guy yet, you know. And I think this movie took a lot of flack because he was in it. And I tell you something, I gotta tell you, watching it last time with my friend, I enjoyed this movie. The first time I saw it when it came out, I enjoyed it. I thought this is fucking crazy and bizarre, and I remember liking it back then, and then rewatching it yesterday, I'm like, this is so hokey cheese, and there are parts that are definitely meant to be hokey cheese, and I think, you know, film goers weren't as smart in '01 as they are now. Not everybody was inside inside on the joke, in on the joke. Sorry, fucking again, long fucking week. And I don't know. Watching it yesterday, like even in the state that I was, I'm just going, dude, this is like a fucking Star Trek on crack. That's basically, like, it is, like, the fucking monsters are great. The fucking acting is at points over the top. Some of the lines are fucking, I think the last line of the film is something along the lines of, gonna go kick ass because that's what we do. If that's how the film ends, is kick ass is what we do, kicking ass, well, yeah, I mean, come on. You got to be in on the joke. It's just for laughs. It's just a ham. It's just a ham. Anyway, so Ice Cube's in this. Desolation William. Remote region to apprehend the dangerous Desolation Williams. They discover that he's the least of their worries. The mining operations have unleashed a deadly army of Martian spirits who take over the bodies of humans and won't stop until they destroy all invaders of their planet. With a stellar cast. Now listen to this cast. Listen to this cast. Pam Grier, who I've been in love with just a long time. Foxy Brown. Jackie Brown. Ooh, love me some Pam Grier. Jason Statham is in this. Everybody loves Jason Statham. When he had hair, I might add. When he had hair. His walk's classic. If you look at his gait in this movie, the way he walks in this movie, it is over the top. And Clea Duvall from The Faculty. Everybody loves Clea Duvall, right? And I know my friend does. She's got an exotic look about her, don't she? As well as the explosive special effects, John Carpenter. Wait a minute, that's part of the cast? With a stellar cast including... Oh, okay, there's a comma there. I was going to say, wait a minute, you're saying that the explosive special effects are part of the cast? John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars is an intergalactic tear fest like you've never seen. Bonus features, audio commentary with John Carpenter and Natasha Henstridge, video diary, Red Desert Nights, featurette scoring the Ghost of Mars. I think I saw like Anthrax doing a fucking riff for Ghost of Mars. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Like this is when like we were just fizzling out with like you could just throw money on anything. Because you want to know what? I'm watching that bonus feature where. So John Carpenter's like listening to the guitarist, from Anthrax, and there's a couple of others in there, and he's listening to it, and some of them they're not recording. He's getting a feel for what they're doing, and it kind of reminded me. You guys remember the movie with Adam Sandler, Funny People? It kind of reminded me like how sad it was when Adam was like paying, like fucking. Different musical artists to come jam with him, but he was paying for that, so they like weren't coming to hang out with him. Like he was employing them to play with him. That's kind of like I was watching John and I was like, I wonder if he's dying right now and he's got cancer like Adam Sandler thought he did in Funny People, because he's just got heavy metal guitarists in here just jamming with him. I don't know. It was just funny and depressing to think about. Now, if I recall, I was looking at the wiki on this. There's some things we can talk about. Set in the second half of the 22nd century, Mars has been 84% terraformed, allowing humans to walk on the surface without pressure suits. Martian society has become matriarchal, with women in positions of authority. I don't think that's explicitly stated. It's true, like you do see that, but I don't think we talk about that like women run the show now. But now that I think about it, yeah, even like the head fucking the space government, even she was a woman. But I didn't think about it till now. But we don't talk about it like that. In fact, this movie just keeps getting better and better now that I think about it. He did something so ahead of its time and didn't even mention it. Just fucking put the bodies on screen. Good for you, John. Good for you. allowing humans to walk on the surface without pressure suits, become matriarchal with women in most positions of authority. Police officer Lieutenant Melanie Ballard, we'll just say Melanie, is sent to a remote mining outpost to transport prisoner Desolation Williams. Arriving at the remote mining town, Ballard and her team find that all the people are missing. They're missing, gang. What should they do? They're on Mars. They're missing. She learns that they had discovered an underground doorway created by an ancient Martian civilization. I say that again. She learns that they had discovered an underground doorway created by an ancient Martian civilization. When the door was opened, it released disembodied spirits or ghosts, which took possession of the miners. The possessed miners commit horrific acts of death and destruction, along with self-mutilation. Self-mutilation is kind of gnarly. I think John was definitely inspired by the punk era. Like, all of them are like either ripping their face off or jamming fucking rods or blades or something into their face, their arms. It is pretty gnarly. It is pretty gnarly. It's very sadomasochistic. Is that how we say that? Sadomasochism? I don't know. I'm not into the violence and the sex. I don't mind. I don't mind a little. But if you punch me in the mouth, we're gonna have some problems. we're gonna. Actually, not in 2022. I'm going to politely ask you to leave, unless you knock me out cold. Which, wouldn't that be something? And ill-advised, like, you're really getting into it. There's scratching, there's a little choking or whatever, and then she belts you in the temple and you're knocked out. And there's no consent, and you're not into that, and like you come to whenever. I'm sorry, what just happened? I'm just saying, if you belt me, I'm gonna say, hey, I think you gotta go now. So, but they're jamming shit. The characters, the villains are jamming shit in them left and right. When team leader Helena Braddock is murdered, it's Pam Grier's character, and she's beheaded, and they put her fucking head on a spigot. And it's kind of a fucking anticlimactic death, too, for a character of Pam Grier, with star power of Pam Grier, which, again, the genius of her death happens off screen. Like, it's not this big dramatic thing. And sometimes I like shit like that. It was like an elongated cameo, maybe. Ballard must assume command after Pam Grier gets her head chopped off and fight off the possessed miners, escape the town, and hopefully destroy the ghosts. Unfortunately, killing a possessed human merely releases... Oh, yeah, this is a good one, gang. Unfortunately, killing a possessed human merely releases the Martian spirit to possess another human. So when it comes out, it's all... And we got, like, crazy music and stuff, and then it goes into people's ear or mouth or eyes or something like that. No. He has become one of them. The team eventually decides to blow up the nuclear reactor and vaporize all the ghosts. That's also half true. Ballard's crew, the final sequence is a fucking train. The planet doesn't explode. The city doesn't explode. It's just the bad men. Mom, it's the bad men. Yeah, just the bad men die. Ballard's crew, along with the survivors who were gathered in the jail, are eventually wiped out by the ghosts. At one point, Ballard is nearly possessed, but resists when she is given a drug that we see her taking earlier in the film. I'm going to go with an ecstasy-type drug, but once she's infected by the Martian spirit, I think actually Jason Statham pops one of the pills in her, and the spirit can't stand it, and she pukes it out. can't stand ya. But resists when she gives them the drug. She discovers that the spirits are attacking them because they believe that the humans are invaders, and the ghosts plan to exterminate the humans on Mars. Only Ballard and Williams are left after Sergeant Jericho, an other officers, along with 2 train operators, are killed when they try to finish the fight by causing, So some of the villains in this, they throw buzzsaws. They throw goddamn buzzsaws. There's quite a few people that get fucked up from some buzzsaws in this. And I can tell you as a horror fan, that's fucking great. That's fucking great. And it's over the top. I'm not going to take it too seriously. Like, come on, they're with their hand. It's not like they're shooting these things or fucking, I don't know, curling them. Why did I say curly? What is it? Shot put, that's what I meant. They're just freehand and throwing buzzsaws, and that's pretty fucking cool, if you ask me. And you get to see them in full effect. And there's a couple, like, subtle things where, like, I think this one guy that dies, there's like 5 that fly at him, and 3 hit him, and 2 like ricochet. And I just thought, like, it was a nice little touch that not only do we have the wound, but also the ricochet. I don't know. You check it out and see if you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, fucking buzzsaws, dude. Are killed when they try to finish the fight. Along with 2 train operators, are killed when they try to finish the fight by causing the settlement's nuclear power plant to go critical. Lockdown has been initiated, turning into a small atomic bomb. When we delivered the bomb. Not wanting to be blamed for the massacre, Williams handcuffs. Okay, we don't need to talk about the end. But, anywho, you got fucking creature effects from the great Greg Nicotero and Robert Kurtzman and who was the other guy? I know he's in here somewhere. Is it Robert Hall? No. Ken Went? No. Jim Cale? Maybe? No. Well, there was one more that was a big one, but definitely Robert Kurtzman and Greg Nicotero. Obviously, people know Greg Nicotero now because of Walking Dead, but Nicotero and Kurtzman have been doing it a long time with those practical effects, and they never cease to amaze me how creative and fucked up that they can get with a particular wound or the coloring of a wound, or even what it like at one point, like I said, these people have metal all over their face. Metal all over their arms, their chests, just inserted with blood coming out and everything, and that's all thanks to those fucking guys. And the main villain, who is credited on IMDb as Big Daddy Mars, so this guy no dialogue, all he does is scream the entire film. There's no dialogue whatsoever. He communicates with his minions by screaming, and I want to so bad to imitate the scream. I don't know. I think it's hilarious. Like, most people would be like, that is dumb as fuck. You would be right, but it's also funny. It's also funny. Like, if you take into context what's happening, like with the visuals that you're having in front of you, it's kind of funny, gang. It's kind of funny. But I think it's funnier that he is credited as Big Daddy Mars. Big Daddy Mars, get the fuck out of my face. You gotta be kidding me. All right. So we had music by, of course, John Carpenter, because John Carpenter does all his music, and does his music, and also credited his fucking Anthrax. Hell yeah. I love the score for Ghosts of Mars. Absolutely love it. I sure as shit, if I didn't love it, I sure as shit wouldn't have used it as my opening theme for my show for gotta be a couple months straight. I did. Anyway, you gotta listen to it. It's pretty fucking cool. I know my boy that came over yesterday, he's been jamming to the Ghost of Mars soundtrack since he left, which I think's cool. Listening to movie soundtracks is cool. That's right. In fact, at my year end, which I still don't understand how, but it said that was the most the genre I listened most of was movie soundtracks. That's not right. Not last year. Maybe a couple years ago or the year before, but not last year, I think. False, Spotify. It's false. Anyway. Written by Larry Sulkus and John Carpenter, starring Natasha Henstridge, Ice Cube, Jason Statham, Pam Grier, Joanna Cassidy, Richard Citrone, who plays Big Daddy Mars, Rosemary Forsyth, Liam Waite, Dwayne Davis, Lobo Sebastian, who fucking chops his thumb off trying to show off, Rodney A. Grant, Peter Jason, cinematography by Gary B. Kibb. Kibbe? Kibb? Gary B. Kibbe? 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 Yeah. Editing by Paul Warschlicka. Yep, got it. Nailed it. Music by Anthrax and John Carpenter. This is so fucking funny to me. But yeah, so now if I tell you it's like a Star Trek, if I tell you it's like Star Trek on crack, it's got a pretty traditional ending, which is fine. I mean, there are some cringe lines, in the last 20 minutes, we almost get to a too much to bear with the cringe as far as just the one-liners. They begin to be a little bit too much, which I'd like to go back and examine. I don't have time, but I would like to go back and examine. I don't have time. I would like to say it honestly, Sean. I would like to go back and examine John Carpenter's films. I don't think he's got this many one-liners in one film. You have to correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I don't think, there's a lot of zingers in this one, babe. Zingers. But will Ice Cube, Desolation Williams, and Natasha Henstridge, Melanie, who will they both survive? Will any of them survive? I don't know. I do know, but I'm not going to tell you. But I will say, Ghosts of Mars. Ghosts of Mars. You haven't done one John Carpenter film on your... that is good. That is great. I mean, if I was trying to be a dick, I would have did The Ward. If I was trying to be a dick, but watch Ghosts of Mars and tell me you don't have a fun time. And tell me after you watch it, you couldn't put Ghosts of Mars on in the background as a party goes on or fucking whatever, just like to look at hilariousness every now and then. But then again, I don't know. Put movies on at parties anymore to have the background or TV on anymore. I don't see that happen too often anymore. It's not a thing, but whatever. Used to put a horror movie on in the background, drink some beer, have some... No, we don't do that anymore. All right. That's fine. I don't care. Evolve. Ellis Cinema. John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars makes it to the Ellis Cinema podcast. Wouldn't you know it? Too bad John was unavailable for an interview for Ghost of Mars. Ellis Cinema. I'm fucking gone, bro.